It was just another Saturday afternoon, the kind where you figure it'll be all calm vibes, maybe a quick trip to the store or sipping a hot coffee. But that day, something shifted in a way I couldn't ignore. My wife, Sharon, had been acting off, her gaze dodging mine like she was hiding something. For a few days, I'd noticed her smile seemed forced, her words cutting sharper, like she was wrestling with some inner turmoil she wouldn't share. I'd gotten good at spotting when things weren't right between us over the years. A couple of times, I almost called her out on it, but I held back, not wanting to come off as overly suspicious or stir up trouble for no reason. That Saturday, though, the tension was too thick to brush off. I was chilling in the living room when Sharon stormed in, arms crossed, her face tight with irritation. She said we needed to talk, her voice flat and heavy. I nodded, feeling a knot form in my gut. "What's eating you?" I asked. She let out a deep sigh, plopping down across from me, her eyes finally locking onto mine. What she said necks at me like a freight train. She told me I'd been so wrapped up in my own world lately, it was like I didn't give a damn about her anymore. She'd been trying to get through to me. But I wasn't listening, and she flat out said I wasn't priority to her anymore. She even questioned why she was still sticking around. Her words burned, but it wasn't just their harshness. It was the gut punch of her saying I meant nothing to her. My chest tightened, and I wanted to fire back to yell, but instead, something colder took over, a steely determination I hadn't felt in ages. If she didn't care about me, why should I keep bending over backward for her? For the first time in years, I felt this weird sense of freedom. I didn't need to beg for her love or keep trying to fix whatever was broken. If she could toss me aside so easily, I was done chasing her. Without a word, I got up and left the room. She called out, but I kept walking. I didn't owe her an explanation or need to justify how I felt. My mind was made up. The days that followed felt like a dream. I didn't run after her or try to patch things up. I kept my distance, going about my life with a quiet confidence I didn't know I had in me. No more chasing her when she was caught up in her own world. No more catering to her every need. I let her see I wasn't waiting for her approval anymore. I wasn't nothing to myself, and I was done acting like I was. At first, she didn't seem to notice, like she didn't care enough to even register the change. But then I started picking up on little things. Her calls got more frequent. Texts started flooding and asking where I was or what I was up to. She even swung by my favorite hangout spots. But I was never there. About a week later, she came home, her face red with frustration. She demanded to know what was going on with me, saying I'd been so distant, like I didn't care about her anymore. I looked at her, and it hit me. The tables had flipped. I calmly reminded her of her own words, how she'd said I was nothing to her. So I stopped caring. Her eyes went wide, guilt and confusion flickering across her face. She opened her mouth, but nothing came out. She wasn't ready for me to hold her accountable, wasn't expecting me to stop chasing her affection. The weeks after that were a wild ride for her. She started trying harder, but it wasn't the same old entitled attitude. It was like she had to work to get my attention again. But for me, something had changed. The spark I used to feel for her was gone, replaced by the realization I'd been pouring everything into someone who didn't truly value me. I threw myself back into the things I loved, stuff I'd let slide for her sake. I picked up hobbies I hadn't touched in years, reconnected with friends I'd pushed aside. I found a version of myself that didn't revolve around her approval, and it felt damn good. I wasn't expecting her to change overnight, and I sure wasn't going to make her the center of my world again. One night, she came to me, her voice softer, almost like she was sorry. She said she'd been thinking about everything, admitting she didn't mean what she said before. She was frustrated, but she knew she'd pushed me away and didn't want to lose me. It would have been so tempting to slip back into the same old routine, to say sorry and plead for things to return to how they used to be. But I wasn't that guy anymore. I'd changed deep down, no longer desperate for her approval. I looked at her and said with complete honesty that I wasn't sure I could trust her words. She'd told me I was nothing to her, and that's why I'd stopped pouring my heart into this. Maybe the way we'd been living just wasn't working for either of us anymore. Her eyes were almost begging, searching for a way to pull me back. But I didn't budge. The hurt she caused had cut too deep, and I was done playing the role of the guy who groveled for love. She needed to understand I was my own person, whether she was in my life or not. In the end, she didn't leave the house, but emotionally, she was gone. I'd done what I had to do, taking my power back. By letting go of the fight to win her over, I found a peace I hadn't known in years. Her words, "You're nothing to me," lost their grip on me completely. I stepped away from that part of my life, no longer tied to the unhealthy mess we'd built together. It wasn't a smooth road, and it sure wasn't perfect, but I came to a powerful realization. When you stop pouring energy into someone who doesn't value you, you take the first step toward reclaiming your life. What came next was like a breath of fresh air, freedom, a clear mind, and the beginning of a new chapter where I put myself first. If you connected with this story, hit that like button to show some love. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more real, raw journeys like this one.